Okay, so now we're going to continue where we were last time. So we had number 18 where you had two sides and a different letter for the angle, and so it was an SAS case, and we had to find little b first, then we had to find capital A, and then this one was capital C, which is what I put up here. And again, it did follow the small, medium, large as far as 1 was the smallest side, so this was the smallest angle, 9.7. 1.03 was the smallest side, so that's the medium angle. And then you had 2 for your largest side, and 160 is your largest angle. Okay, so that was number 18. Skip 20, and then we go to 22. So on 22, we have B equal 4, C equal 1, and A equal 120 degrees. Okay, so what we do is we have our A equal, B equal, C equal, A equal, B equal, C equal. Here's your 120 degrees. Here's your 1. Here's your 4. Okay, so just like before, if you know A, use the little a formula. Or if you want to think of A squared, you know, the A formula. Okay, so this is A squared equal B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine A. So A squared equal 4 squared plus 1 squared minus 2 times 4 times 1 cosine 120 degrees. And so, like last time, if all the numbers are just on one side, this is the easiest type problem. And don't forget to do square root of your answer. That'd be the most commonly missed part. And so we are in degree mode, and we put 4 squared plus 1 squared is just 1, so I'm just going to put 1 there. Minus, that turns out to be 8, and then cosine 120 degrees. If you're in degree mode, you don't have to put the symbol, but again, sometimes it's sensitive. And in this case, we get 21. Okay, so this is exactly 21. And now we need to do the square root of 21. And that's 4.582. So we get 4.58. And so this does follow the small, medium, large, with 1 being the smallest, 4 is medium, and 4.58 is large. Okay, so now we're going to get these two angles. So just because these two were like only 0.58 apart doesn't mean the angles are going to be close. In fact, these have to add up to 60. Must add to 60. Okay, so let's get B. And so we're going to do B squared equal A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cosine B. So 4 squared equal 4.58 squared plus 1 squared minus 2 times 4.58 times 1 cosine B. So now we're going to do like we did last time, type this in and then say minus this minus that. So we're doing 4 squared minus, highlight this, squared, minus 1 squared. So that gives you -6. See, if you just typed 4.58 squared instead of the answer squared, you would not have gotten that. So, again, warning, don't round. Again, I highlighted it. Okay, and then this will be negative, and then 2 times that number is 9.165. So on cosine B. So you've got a negative, divide by a negative, which would give you a positive, which is what you want because you want your acute angle. So negatives cancel. So we're taking this number divided by negative of this number. It gives you 0.6546 something equal cosine B. So now you do cosine -1 of your answer. So cosine -1 of your answer. Remember, this was expected to be between -1 and 1 for the triangle to exist. And this gives us 49.106. And so that's just going to be 49.1 degrees. So there you put your 49.1 degrees, and now, like we did before, we add 120.0 plus 49.1 is 169.1. And then just subtract that. And that's 10.9. So 10.9 degrees. So that did fit our small, medium, large. Okay, so next we have number 26. And this one is A equal 4, B equal 5, and C equal 3. So this is, I recognize this as a 3, 4, 5 right triangle, and B is the biggest side. So capital B is going to be 90 degrees. That's just a shortcut for one step. But let's go like normal. A equal, B equals, C equal, A equal, B equal, C equal, 4, 5, 3, small. The 4 is the medium, and 5 is a large. Okay, so this would be your side, side, side case. By the way, if you like doing that for your notes, this would have been a side angle side case. And already marked that side angle side for 18. Okay, so this is a side case. Let's find our A angle first. So A squared equal B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine A. Whoops, this should be 4 squared equal 5 squared plus 3 squared minus 2 times 5 times 3 cosine A. So on the calculator we go 4 squared minus, because we're going to bring this term over, 5 squared minus, we're going to bring this term over, which is 3 squared. The reason why we can bring those over is because those don't have cosine. So those are the constants. No, they're not variables, they're constants for those three. And so we get negative 18 equal, think of 10 times 3, or 2 times 15, or 6 times 5, which is negative 30. And then we're going to divide two negatives so we get a positive, so it's going to be an acute angle. Alright, so 18 divided by 30 is 0.6. Divide by negative 30. So 0.6 equal cosine A. A is inverse cosine of 0.6, or 0.6 if you will. And trig cosine negative 1, 0.6 gives you 53.13. So this is 53.1 degrees. 53.1 degrees. Okay, now let's find B. And so for that one we do B squared equal A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cosine B. And that would be 5 squared equal 4 squared plus 3 squared minus 2 times 4 times 3 cosine B. So we do 5 squared minus 4 squared minus 3 squared. That gives you 0, because these two are like 16 plus 9, and that is what 25 is. So we get 0 equal negative 24 cosine B. Because think of 2 times 4 is 8, 8 times 3 is 24, or think of 6 times 4, or think of 2 times 12. Now we're going to divide by negative 24, so you get 0 equal cosine B. So this is where earlier I said, let's do inverse cosine of 0, and if you use your unit circle, you get 90 degrees or 270 degrees. Because this would be like where x equals 0, like 0, 1, which is 90 degrees, or 0, negative 1, which is 270 degrees. However, for it to be a triangle, you can't have 270 degrees. Don't use 270 degrees. Since it's a triangle, because the angles in the triangle would have to add up to 180, and so that means we have to use 90. So then you put 90 degrees here. And then to get C, there's two ways to do it. The normal way is add these and subtract from 180. The other way is these have to be complementary, which means adds to 90. So A and C. So in other words, we can do 90 minus 53.1, or if you don't like that, you can do 90 plus 53.1 and then do 180 minus whatever you get. 90 minus 53.1 is 36.9, or you can do it the other way. 90 plus 53.1 is 143.1, and 180 minus 143.1 is 36.9, and so that's what you get for this one. 36.9 degrees. So in the future, you can remember when you have a 3, 4, 5 right triangle, it's going to be approximately 37 degrees, 53 degrees, and 90 degrees. So it's not a 30, 60, 90. Okay, that's 26. Now let's go to 30. So number 30. This one you have A equal 4, B equal 3, and C equals 6. Okay, well, since I'm kind of experienced doing this, I know this is going to be having C as an obtuse angle. That's my prediction. Okay, let's see if that's right or not. So that'd be my hypothesis. Because if 3, 4, 5 is your right triangle, let's see what 3, 4, 6 is. Okay, so we start with A equal, B equal, C equal, A equal, B equal, C equal, and we've got 4, 3, and 6. So small, medium, and large. So this is your SSS case. And so let's get capital A first. A squared equal B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine A. 4 squared equal 3 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 3 times 6 cosine A. So, clear my scratch pad. We're doing 4 squared minus 3 squared minus 6 squared. Since these are not negative numbers, I'm not putting parentheses. And make sure you use the minus sign, not this. It would give you an error. Let me just demonstrate that error. So first off, I'd get negative 29 equal. If you use this other thing, 4 squared, and then you say this little negative sign, whoops, right there, just like that. It gives you a number, but that's not right because it changed to a times and a negative. So if I did 4 squared negative 3 squared negative 6 squared, that'd be huge, and that wouldn't make any sense. And again, notice they changed to times. So just again, make sure you're typing it properly. Okay, so then this would be 6 times 6, which is 36. Or you can think 12 times 3 is also 36, or you can think 2 times 18. Okay, so we get negative 29 equal negative 36 cosine A. And so then 29 divided by 36, because the negatives cancel, gives you 0.805. Repeat. It's all 5s, and then at the very end it's a 6 because it rounds. Then we do inverse cosine of that. We get 36.33. So A is inverse cosine of my answer, which is 336. I'm not going to write the 6. So this would be 36.3 degrees. 36.3 degrees. Okay, so now we're going to have an angle smaller than that and one that's bigger than that. Okay, so now we need B. So we're going to have B squared equal A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cosine B. So 3 squared equal 4 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 4 times 6 cosine B. So we have 3 squared minus 4 squared minus 6 squared. Gives you negative 43. And 8 times 6 is 48. Or you can think 2 times 24, or you could think 4 times 12. Let's keep our minds sharp. So now we're going to divide by negative 48. And 43 divided by 48 is 0.8958, and so on. And so B is inverse cosine of your answer. So we do cosine negative 1 of that. It's 26.38. And so this would be 26.4 degrees. Okay, so let's add those and subtract from 180. 36.3 plus 26.4, and then do 180 minus that. 36.3 plus 26.4, 62.7. 180 minus that, 117.3. And so that would be capital C. Okay, so sure enough, that was an obtuse angle. Okay, so that's the end of that type problem. Now, the next ones are called mixed practice. And so this is where it could say law of sines or cosines. So we have to be careful here. It's a good mixed review. So after 30, we're going to do 34. And this is going to be use law of sines or cosines based on the info given. I'm just going to put info. Okay, so 34, you have A equal 50 degrees, B equal 55 degrees, and little c equal 9. So we have A equal, B equal, C equal, A equal, B equal, C equal. Just fill in. And let's just see what we have. Okay, so this one we have two angles given. And so I would say find the third one. That's an angle symbol. Find the third angle first. And so we're going to do 55 plus 50 is 105. And 180 minus 105 is 75. Okay. And now this is your pair. So use the law of sines. That's what I would recommend. Okay, so that means we're going to have C with A, and we're going to have C with B. So this would be sine 75 over 9 equal, let's see, A is 50, so we have sine 50 over A, and you cross multiply. So this would be 9 times sine 50 equal A times sine 75. And divide that. Again, I am in degree mode, but I'll go ahead and press the symbol. 9 sine 50 degrees, divide by sine 75 degrees. This gives you 7.137. So this is 7.14. It's a side length, and so we're rounding to the 100th. And don't use the Pythagorean theorem on this one. We have to do the law of sines again. So this would be sine 75 over 9 equal sine 55 over B. By the way, based on this information, this is small, medium, large. So 7.14 should be our smallest side. We should have a side length that's about 8, and then the large is 9. That's how you can see if your answer is reasonable. And again, this was a 9. Cross multiply 9 sine 55, so I did this times this, equal B sine 75, and then divide. So we're doing 9 times sine 55 degrees divided by sine 75 degrees. 7.632. And so this would be 7.63. So not exactly 8, but you know, it is smaller than 9. Okay, 38. On this one we have A equal 4, C equal 5, and capital B equal 55 degrees. By now you know the drill. Fill in what you know. Okay, so could we use the law of sines on this one? We don't have a pair there, there, or there. So not law of sines. This would be a side angle, side case, and so it's going to be cosines. Okay, so that means we've got the first angle that was already given is B. So if we're given B, use the B formula. Or B squared if you want to. B squared equal A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cosine B. Okay, so B squared, don't know what that is. And then 4 squared plus 5 squared minus 2 times 4 times 5 cosine 55. Okay, so all those are numbers. Again, don't forget to say square root of whatever you get. Again, that's the most common mistake. That and typos. Or being in the wrong mode. 4 squared plus 5 squared minus 2 times 4 times 5 times cosine 55. So why is this called the law of cosines? Because we use cosine throughout. We either use cosine -1 or we use cosine. Okay, so here's what we get. Whoops. When I used my teacher calculator and I didn't hit Control Enter, it converted it to sine, but that's okay. That's what you get. So 18.057. Don't forget to do your square root of this, and you get 4.249, and so this is 4.25. So now don't use the law of sines. If we use cosines once, use cosine again. So this would be A squared equal B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine A. So 4 squared equal 4.25 squared plus 5 squared minus 2 times 4.25 times 5. That'd be another mistake. Use the same two numbers on the same side. cosine A. Okay, so 4 squared minus, highlight this, put squared, minus 5 squared. That gives you this number, negative 27.057 approximately, equal, and then this is going to end up being a negative, and you have 2 times that number times 5 gives you that number, 42.493 cosine A. So now divide. Two negatives cancel and you get a positive. So this one divided by a negative of this one gives you 0.63673 something. And so A is inverse cosine of your answer. Again, we're in degree mode, so this number had to be between -1 and 1. So we do cosine -1, that is 50.45. And so that means our answer would be 50.5 because we round up. Okay, so that's 50.5 degrees. And then you're going to add these two and subtract from 180. 55 plus 50.5, and then 180 minus that. $55 plus 50.5 is 105.5. That gives you 74.5. Okay, so let's talk about something real quick. So that was C. So here was your small, medium, large, and that looks reasonable. Let's back up just a moment. So on this one we were given 3 sides already, and so it had to be one triangle. On this one we were given 3 sides, and so it had to be one triangle. On this one we were given 2 angles, and so it had to be one triangle, because it's not possible to get a different number for your third angle. And on this one you were given 2 sides and 1 angle, and so this would also be one triangle. So you have 4.25, 50.5, and 74.5. Okay, so that's number 38. On Math Excel, we have to do odds, not evens. And so I will tell you, number 39 is if it's on Math Excel, we'll have two triangles. And so do what you did before on the law of sines. So we have to find your first angle, and all that information, and then do 180 minus your first angle, and then add to the given. And if it's less than 180, then two triangles exist. So that's just a summary of what we've talked about before. Okay, that's a good stopping point for this video.